Well, there you are looking down on the Kyoto National Circuit. We are at the reverse way around it today for the 5th round of the 2009 iCON Tour Car Championship season. I'm Jonathan Palmer along with Michael Booth and Michael Passingham, and we are about ready to start. We are about ready to start qualifying today. So, Michael Booth, it's quite a challenging track, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot different to South City reversed, where we were. South City long reversed, and well, drivers going to have to be careful not to sort of get lulled into a false sense of security, because there is still quite a few tricky places in the track, especially going from the infield to the oval and from the oval to the infield, and of course, obviously, trying to stay out of trouble going over 145 miles an hour on the oval section.
So we are taking a look down. A third of the lap is the oval section, pretty much, and then there's this tricky infield section. Michael Passingham, it's always a challenge to set up for this track, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to get the high wings about right for the infield section, but yeah, also you want less drag for the oval section. It's a tough compromise because if you're fast in one area, you're going to be a little bit slower in the other. It's quite a delicate process of getting it just about right. But hopefully these guys have got it, and they're going to have some competitive and fun racing today.
So, Billy, what are you going to expect for the session here?
Sorry, say that again. You broke up there.
Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah. Now, session, of course, there's no drafting allowed in qualifying. So how are you going to try and qualify? Get as many laps in as you can. We got 30% restriction. Laps are over a minute and a half. How, would you try and pit after each one, or are you going to try and go for a long run?
Well, drafting is allowed, but not bump drafting, so if you can find someone to partner up with, and obviously if you're in a big team, then that will help. And yeah, outlap is going to be a couple of minutes to get around the track, so you're not going to get very many runs in if you keep pitting every time, so you might have to try and make your tyres last 2 laps and see if you can get a faster time.
So we're just having some slight technical problems right now. The TV camera people controlling the cameras are too lazy to actually look at the cars, so all they can do is look at static. So we'll just keep you updated on the times that are being set. The cars are going around on their first flying laps at the moment. No one has set a time yet, but that will happen momentarily, I think. Right, we're back in action. We can now see cars driving, so let's start some qualifying. Fastest guy so far is Picard, former Mercury racing driver. Mercury no longer around anymore, but he is pole position driver, 1:44.07. He has 1 kilogram of ballast, I do believe, so he is going to be fairly competitive with that.
He actually has no ballast due to his -9 points. He got due to infractions. So yeah, he's looking to use the little ballast he has to, or none, to set a good lap and make up those points.
-9 points. Now that's something to not be proud of, but yeah, that's what happened.
I suppose it's a good incentive not to do anything bad. You won't get punished. I think minus points sometimes are a bit more of a punishment than just having say a drive-through or a stop-go penalty in a race. This will give you humiliation as well.
Yeah. So currently, just after 5 minutes and 10 seconds of the qualification session have been completed, Pavlovic, you're looking at him right now, he's second position, he's 1:44.43. Picard still on pole position right now, and Oliveira has just jumped up into second. Oliveira, sorry. There he is, making his way through the first corner. He's now second position in this qualifying session. Currently now it is Picard still on pole with Dolzal just jumping up into second there, so it's a battle for second position in the times. Here is Dolzal just making his way through turn 3. So yeah, that's second position, that's a 1:44.4. Still 0.23 behind Picard, who is just still driving around trying to pick up some more time.
Picard was the lap record holder at this track on the CTRA combination. The 32% restricted FXR being used here, and just before CTRA closed down I checked all the records and he was at the top of the chart for this track.
Yeah, that's got to tell you something. CTRA was 38% restriction in the FXR, which is slightly slower, obviously. 32, sorry, and
this is 32.
Yes, it's the exact same combination. Nope, it was 32 Paso.
Okay, so I'd like to apologize, viewers. Some of us, like me and Billy, seem to have been talking to ourselves, having an argument with ourselves, but we use some private bodies to share some info before try and organize ourselves before we go in public, and we're having an argument about, or Passingham and Boothie were having a bit of a tete-a-tete about CTRA restrictions compared to ITCC restrictions, so we apologize for that, and well, at least I do. I don't know if they do. They might like the laugh y'all get. But yeah, so we're about halfway through this session, and Picard is fastest at the 1:43.81. Dolzal second fastest with 1:44.23, and Nolan Scott third fastest with 1:44.29. And absent today, Rudy Van Buren. So Nolan has a good chance to work up quite a big lead in the championship because of this. Rudy away today due to a real-life racing conflict.
Yeah, it's a big shame. That also happened in the head-to-head racing series. Real life had to take over from, from the LFS racing, but also that always makes sense. It's just a shame that two epic battles between Rudy Van Buren and Nolan Scott have been ruined by real life. But no, that's the way it goes. Currently, Nolan Scott still third position in this qualifying session.
Yeah, the thing is, if obviously if he's going to be there next week, he'll have less ballast, so could be interesting at the next round.
Well, of course, there could always be problems for Nolan, so he could still not collect that many points. So it could still stay as a close battle here. Not all hope will be lost yet. They are tied on points. So there still will be some chance for Rudy if Nolan does have some misfortune today.
Currently, on board with Jack Atkinson, just heading through the first two turns. He is really punching above his weight today. He's 6th position in qualifying right now, doing pretty good times. So, yeah, we'll be pleased to see if Jack... Oh, just as we mentioned him, he has a massive slide and has to pit. But yeah, he was doing quite well. 6th now dropped down to 7th. He needs to start putting in a bit faster times, otherwise he will fall back down the grid. But yeah, good to see him up there amongst the best of them. Having some ballast problems for Oliveira, it looks like. Joining with the wrong ballast, or if he has no ballast or something. So still on pole is Picard with quite a big advantage here. He's got a 143.81, and behind him is Marquez with a 144.15. So that's a pretty big gap of 0.34, if my maths is correct, which it usually isn't, but I think it was that time. So there's Picard, just making his way through the first couple of turns in that purple Mercury car. Oliveira had some ballast problems. I think his ballast data had been entered incorrectly. He was unable to join the qualifying session until just a second ago. Had he set a lap? Yes, he set a lap in 8, but then he was unable to join again, so some kind of foul up has happened there. So he's missed part of the session.
Yeah, what happened?
And is currently 8th.
Yeah, what happened was originally the admins put him in for 30 kilograms for new entrant, but he was at the last round. So I think they turned off ballast checking for a second to let him join, because it only checks on joining. And so they tried to let him out. And he hasn't rejoined yet, even though they told him. Oh, he has rejoined.
Just over 1 minute and a half qualifying, 1 minute and a half of qualifying left. Picard still on pole with Marquez second, Doltzau third, Fowry fourth. Nolan Scott, championship leader, is 5th. well, he's not. He's second in the championship, correct? Yeah. 6th is Bitar. 7th is Jack Atkinson, still sitting up there in the top 10. Good one for him. 8th is Oliveira with those ballast problems. 9th is Pavlovic. 10th is Phil Diaz. 11th is Arneson. 12th is Enerson, and 13th is the short-lived member of 3ID, Rick de Jong. He was member of 3ID for the previous race at South City, but he is no longer a driver for that team. 14th is Ben Kyo. 15th is Jordan. 16th is Goncalves. 17th is Ward. 18th is the core racing driver Østgaard, not doing as well as he would have liked. 19th is Laprovot, and 20th is Jorgen Kurth.
Just looking at, probably not looking at, but Phil Diaz of Core Racing has managed to get up to 5th. So the 2nd to the 25th drivers are all in the 1 minute 44 bracket. So a very tight field, given this is a sort of longer track than some of the other tracks we've had where it's been tight. So just 7 seconds, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 second left of qualifying. So we'll see.
5:13, Leonard de Jong, who's Rick de Jong's brother, will be the last one to be on a lap, so he just got there just as time was expiring. He did cross the line and then time had expired.
Here comes Nolan Scott heading up through the final couple of corners through the chicane, just with a car in front of him, but that shouldn't affect him too much.
As Oliveira
in fact, it's his teammates.
gets back up to 8th position.
And there's a nice bit of drafting there for Nolan Scott from Arneson there. That should help his lap time, but he's about to cross the line now. Will it be any good? I don't think it's going to get him anywhere near pole. No.
Well, 6th isn't too bad.
But for the amount of ballast he is carrying, that's pretty respectable. Ferreira just heading towards the finish line now. What will he be able to do? Maybe an improvement?
Dolizal doesn't improve on his time.
Final driver coming through now to complete a lap is Vukovic, I believe. Yep, here he comes. He's about to cross the line now. And he does jump up into 14th place. And that's it for qualifying. So Picard is on pole, Marquez 2nd, Dolzal 3rd, Fowry 4th, Diaz is 5th, Nolan Scott 6th, 7th is Baton, 8th is Oliveira, 9th is Østgaard jumping up there near the end, and 10th is Jack Atkinson, who was in the top 5 previously but has fallen down to 10th. Still pretty good for him. That is the top 10 in qualifying, so the race will start momentarily.
Yeah, they're going to have a few minutes break, give them a chance to take a break, reset. For the race course, once again, 3 races as per usual. Nice full 26 car grid, a few spots not filled, but still quite enough for some excellent racing probably today. So, qualifying session. I'd also like to thank anyone who's with us today after IGTC yesterday. If you want to get a copy of the IGTC race from yesterday, you can check the IGTC forum. It has links to download the saved streams. That was excellent racing. So with Nolan being 6th, might see him trying to get his way through. Of course, on the start with the slipstreaming action, you'll see a lot of wide action through this. So we're doing a little bit of weather changing here as first we've tried. So we might see a couple people timed out, like Booby. So they'll be sorting the grid out too here momentarily.
Yep, the typical timeout after weather change has occurred once again, so the grid will have to be ordered. It'll take a little while, so we'll just be waiting on this for a moment or so.